Hello and welcome to Rebels Radio latest interview. I'm joined by Slough joint managers John Underwood and Neil Baker. How are you, gents?
Good, thanks.
Very well, John. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. Positive end to pre-season earlier in the week.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we were delighted with Monday. It was good to get a game on at home at Holloway's Park. Obviously, a lot of new faces who haven't played there before, and it was good to get to finish off with a win. Really, I think more important was the performance. Results obviously don't mean too much in pre-season, but we thought particularly first half we were very, very impressed with how we played first half. Obviously we weren't too happy with Saturday's performance at Ascot. This was a completely different performance, much more what we'd expect from our lads. You know, a lot of high tempo, a lot of commitment, a lot of energy, but then a lot of quality as well. You know, first half we created a lot of chances.
Passed the ball very well.
Yeah, we did pass the ball well, and I think we fully deserved. I thought we controlled the game first half, really, limited them to a couple of opportunities.
And in the second half, you know, a lot of changes, bringing in some new faces, and also Wilston came into it a little bit more.
Yeah, they had a lot more of the second half. I think we did change things. We knew before the start what we were going to do first and second half. If it had all been about the result, we wouldn't have changed much. But we did what we had to do. We had to, we're sharing out the minutes, looking at a few things. So
I think the second half was, the defensive performance was very good. Obviously, Mark Scott came out with a lot of credit. He made 2 or 3 very good saves. But as a team, we defended very well. I thought Craig Scott was very impressive, as was Billy. And at fullbacks, I thought we played very well.
And a good final workout, the chance for some of the new boys to familiarise themselves with Holloway's Park as well.
Yeah, absolutely. As I say, for some of them, I'm sure a few of them have played there, but not for us. So it was good. It's just good to get everyone familiar in the surroundings, and it's just winning is a habit. If you get a win at home, you take that into Saturday, hopefully.
And I think it was it's good for us as well to be able to be back at the have a look at the pitch before turning up on Saturday. We know what to expect, as opposed to in the past where we've just sort of turned up and it's our first view of the pitch. So it's nice knowing what we're going to be looking for on Saturday, and I think that's positive for us really as well.
Yeah, and then during the week some contentious news around the release of Chris Henry.
Yeah, it's something we have to do as managers. We're here to do a job. We felt for a while, to be honest, we've spoken about it at various times. That we don't feel that Chris necessarily fits what we're looking to achieve this season. There's no doubt in his ability at taking players on and things like that, but we just feel that the work rate that he does going back the other way, he doesn't do enough going forward for us to sort of accept what he has coming backwards. So it's one of those things, and yes, there's other reasons for it as well, which we've obviously documented. And Chris is a great lad, but it's something that we feel that we're doing the right thing with.
And is it symptomatic of the brand of football you look to play? Because obviously people have said, okay, you're looking to restrict, play more of a kind of more Mourinho style as opposed to a Kevin Keegan open style.
So if we could play like one of Mourinho's teams, that would be brilliant. But to be honest, we all know last season our biggest problem was our defensive record, and that wasn't just about defenders and goalkeepers. We've obviously signed a keeper, we've signed 3 defenders, but there's also how you set your team up, and I think at times we were probably a little bit open last year, and we can't keep conceding the goals we conceded last year, and our number one priority has been putting that right. Goals scored wasn't an issue last season. It won't be this season, we're sure. We've signed Lewis Putman, who adds to what we had last year, who's a natural goal scorer.
Plus Warren Harris.
Yeah, Warren back from injury, and
Jake on fire.
Yeah, so we're not worried about going that way. It's important that we start keeping clean sheets. If you're going to do well in the league, you need to keep clean sheets. So. As I say, it's more than just about personnel. It's sometimes how you set your team up. We still want to be exciting. On Monday night, first half, we played quite a solid shape. Yet we created lots of chances, played some really good football. So individual flair players don't make you a successful, exciting team to watch on their own. It's what your team does as a unit, and we're confident we've got a good unit.
But I'd still say that we have our flair players in the likes of people like Jake Parsons and Warren Harris. They're 2 individual players who can do all sorts with a ball and scare opposition's defences. And but what they do also do is they know how to put in a shift and they work hard for the team. And the lads appreciate that. When you play with other players, you want them to work hard first and foremost. And the ability of some of the lads that we've got in the side isn't in question as far as I'm concerned.
And what was their ability like at training tonight? Obviously, final session before the league kicks off. How was it?
Yeah, it was a good session. It was very light tonight. We didn't want to, you don't want to risk injuries at this stage, and the hard work's been done. They've all got lots of minutes under their belts in pre-season, or the majority of them have. And we did the team photo tonight and that kind of thing, which is good to get out of the way. You don't want to do that on a match day and kind of detract from what you're doing on a match day. So we did that tonight, and it was a fairly light session. We probably only trained for about 40 minutes, I'd say, just short and sharp, and keep us ticking over for Saturday, really.
And what are your thoughts about Saturday? Obviously, looking ahead, the last home game you had was against Frome. Frome visit again. Yeah. Hopefully a more positive result than the draw last time.
Yeah, I mean, back end of last season we weren't in great form, and I think John mentioned it to me the other day that the side that we've got, or the squad that we've got for Saturday, 9 of them weren't involved in our last game of the season. That's a big turnaround and big change in what we are this season, and we're very much looking forward to the game. It's you're quite happy to start at home, and everyone just wants to get 3 points, and we're no different, and I'm sure Frome will be exactly the same. We won't know an awful lot about them. They probably won't know an awful lot about us, and we've just got to go into the game and work as hard as we can, and hope that our quality shows. But sometimes the first game of the season throws up a lot of surprises, and I'm sure there'll be some surprising results at the weekend. Let's just hope we're not one of them.
And what are you hoping for the first sort of couple of months of the season? Obviously, fusing these new players together and starting off the league campaign in good spirits.
Yeah, I think I'd like to think that the kind of fusing of the squad has happened. I think they're a very tight knit unit already. If we don't have a good start to the season, we won't be turning around saying it's because it's new players. This is a squad that's together. It's got a good feel about it. It's a big first month. I think there's 7 league games in August, 21 points to play for. I think it would be stupid to put a target on it, because you make yourself look stupid when you do that. So we won't be putting a target on it, but we want to get a good number of wins in those first 7. We want to make sure that we're in the top half of the table, and we're challenging with the sides that are looking to get in and around the playoffs. That has to be our ambition.
And longer term, what are your ambitions for the season? What now, sitting here in August, would you say where you want to be in April, May?
Listen, we need to improve. We need to improve on last season. Obviously, we finished 16th. For me, it's a top half finish. I think the same for John. We want to finish in the top half. We'd be stupid not to sit here and say we'd love to go and win the league and get in the playoffs. And of course you would. As managers, as players, everyone wants to do that. And I think that's the beauty at the start of the season. Everyone's got the same opportunity as everyone else. So obviously we want to do as well as we can. But for me, an improvement on last season. Hopefully a decent cup run. And get ourselves set for hopefully next season in the new grounds.
And which other teams are you thinking in the league you need to keep an eye on? Which ones are going to be up at the top again?
I think, and everyone talks about teams like St Neots, who are obviously well backed financially. They always are. I think they'll expect to be up and around there. Paul bossed the league for a big chunk of last year and obviously fell away at the end. I think they'll be strong. Yeah. They've signed a quality centre forward in
Hungerford will be right up
Hungerford
there
are always up there. They're a very strong side.
Then you've got the likes of teams like Kettering, Merthyr, big clubs that with big backings, they have good crowds, which helps them, financially. And obviously with Merthyr having the 3G pitch, we know full well from going there last season how difficult that was. Yeah. And I'm sure that will give them a huge advantage. There's lots, you can talk about Redditch and teams like that as well who just missed out, Hitchins and...
Yeah, outside of those kind of, I guess, the so-called big clubs in the league, you've probably got then about another 12, 14 where there's very little between them. It was the same last year, and I'd say we came at the bottom of that group last year. Yeah. And that's why we finished 16th. We need to make sure we're in the top half of that group. and then we're kind of closer to where we need to be.
I mean, for us, there's a few unknowns as well. Obviously, Kings Lynn coming in, don't know anything about them at all. Same with Leamington, really. Leamington, obviously come down from the Conference North, and I think they've had quite a big turnover of players as well. So it's another side that we're not going to be, too aware of. We'll try and get out and see them both as early as we can, but it's whether or not the fixtures dictate that.
I think one of the things for certain, it will not be an easier league than it was last year. No doubt about that. It'll be a very tough league.
And what are you looking forward to most?
Just to get into competitive football for me, I don't think anyone really enjoys pre-season. You get a bit excited at the start to be back. You get quite excited the first couple of friendlies, but then it's a bit of a drag for everybody. I don't think the supporters like it, the players, the managers. So this is the great time when you're about to play for the real thing now. So for me, I mean, there's some really big clubs in our league. I think we're going to have some real big games this season at some nice grounds with well-supported clubs. And the chance to manage a club like Slough in this league is exciting in itself. So, and I think also we've kind of, as Banks said, we've made a lot of changes. As managers, you kind of stand and fall by those, and looking forward to sort of seeing how we perform, because I think we've got a good feeling that we've got it right, that we've got the squad right, and only time will tell. But we're looking forward to how that plays out, really.
I'd say we're also in a different frame of mind. I think we're both very excited. I think we're a little bit on a crest of a wave from getting promotion from the playoffs and stuff the year before. But I just think this year we're going to be right on it. So looking forward to it.
And finally, cup runs haven't been going that well over the last few seasons. How much importance are you going to stress upon at some good cup runs this season?
Well, it is. I mean, we owe the chairman that, to be honest. The chairman's been brilliant with us, and in terms of cup revenue, we've given him virtually nothing. So, if nothing else, I think we want to deliver that for the chairman. Bring some money into the club, and then every year as well. There's always a team from our kind of level that does really well in the FA Cup, and you always think, oh, why couldn't that be us? And at some point, we need to do that, and. There's no reason why we can't.
The FA Cup, which is the real money spinner, is such a tough competition. Every player that plays in it, it's the it can be the pinnacle of your career, and I think it's always every single game you play in it is very, very difficult. That's why you see so many shocks year in, year out. You've got to hope that you can get a nice little run of games, and if you can just win your first one, then try and win your second, then all of a sudden, it starts to get quite exciting, and you want to try and get that excitement for the players, because that's when you can then start getting on runs. And
the most important thing is always the league for us, but I think if we can have a good August, those 7 league games, if we get a good points tally there, then the cup competitions start, and then you're on a high. So the first priority is those 7 games and get as many points as we can. So when we hit the cup games, we're in good form, good confidence.
Finally, can you take me through your starting 11 for Saturday?
Yeah, number 1, Mark Scott. Yeah. And I'm not telling you anything else.
We've only literally just tonight probably finalised our team. There is still a slight doubt. Billy's probably the only one out of the 17 that are available that's struggling. He didn't get through training tonight. He took a bit of a whack against Wealdstone, where he went to block a ball, and he sort of just opened up his knee a little bit. So we're not 100% sure he's going to be completely right for Saturday. But on the plus side, Guy and Craig Scott both came through the session, no problems tonight. So we'll judge that one on Saturday. But I think we're pretty much there otherwise in the squad. But it's been the toughest squad we've had to pick. I think probably together, John. Would you say?
Yeah, I would say so.
I'd say so. And we were talking in the car on the way back actually, and saying that our bench is the strongest bench we've ever had. And if we could have, foreseen the bench 2 years ago, we'd have been laughing, saying, yeah, not a chance, because it's just ridiculously strong. So yeah.
We think we've got that strength in depth this time. I think we haven't got players sat on the bench who are squad players. Everyone there, everyone who's in the kind of 17 Saturday could all start week in, week out for us. So that's a good position to be in.
Well, good luck for Saturday. I'm sure there'll be plenty of Rebels cheering you along, and we'll catch up shortly after the game.
Thanks, John.
Cheers.
Cheers.